Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the success of the worst season vid that got over 100 likes. Since that was the threshold that we needed to hit to make this video, welcome to every NFL team's best season. But this time, I'm going to break it down into the two conferences, as this will give me more time to talk about each team a bit more without making this a 30-minute plus video. So stay tuned for the AFC edition. The criteria will be a bit different compared to the worst season video, as I will consider the end results of the season, plus how the immediate future looked over the next few seasons. Before we begin, this video is brought to you by no one, because I am not sponsored. But with that out of the way, let's begin in the NFC East, and we will begin with the Philadelphia Eagles. And this one was kind of easy to go with, as I will pick the 2024, this previous season's edition. Overall, this Eagles squad will stick together for the most part, which is huge because this might be the most balanced team in the NFL today. Nearly every single position looks really good. Quarterback, receiving core, D-line, secondary. There's no reason to believe Philly won't contend over the next few seasons. For the Dallas Cowboys, I had to give it to the 1992 team, as this is what started the 90s Cowboy dynasty. They would destroy Buffalo 52-17 in the Super Bowl with their top 5 offense and #1 ranked defense. For the New York Giants, they had 4 Super Bowl wins, but I believe the 1986 team had the best all-around squad. You had an elite defense led by the great Lawrence Taylor, as well as a highly underrated quarterback in Phil Simms leading the offense. With Bill Parcells running the show, the Giants would destroy Denver 39-20. And while it was a down year in '87, they would go on to have 3 straight seasons with at least 10 wins, including another Super Bowl in that span. Now for the Washington Commanders, all of their Super Bowl wins were blowouts, so it would have to be narrowed down by other means. I decided to give the nod to the 1991 Redskins due to their dominance on both sides of the ball. The offense would rank #1 in scoring, while the defense had the second best scoring defense. Y'all get what I mean. With the best record at 14-2, and they dominated in every playoff game. The 91 Washington team to this day is the season to chase for Jaden Daniels. Moving down to the AFC South, beginning with the Falcons, we had to give it to the 2016 squad. They had the best offense in the Falcons' 59-year history, and is even ranked the 10th best scoring offense of all time. Matt Ryan was the MVP of the league this year, and paired with a prime Julio Jones, they were an unstoppable duo. The team would finish with an 11-5 record, mainly due to a horrendous defense. But bad defense aside, this offense would score 36 points on an aging Legion of Boom in the divisional, and then would follow that up with another 44 on the Packers. In the Super Bowl though, as we all know, Atlanta would dominate early, even lead 28-3 midway through the third, but the team chose to take the foot off the gas of this historic offense, and that would soon come to bite them in the ass, as the defense turned into the jobber they had been all year. Had Atlanta maybe scored one more time, or at least just prevented this Julian Edelman catch, maybe this would have had a better ending. For the New Orleans Saints, this is one of those where it's pretty easy to pick which season was the best. In 2009, they'd knocked down the high-powered Colts offense led by Peyton Manning. The team finished 13-3 with the high-scoring offense of their own, and would score at least 31 points in every single playoff game that they had. No other season comes close for New Orleans. 2003 and 2015 were the only times the Panthers had made the Super Bowl. And while the 2003's loss was a closer margin, I gave it to the 2015 team being the best year in Panthers history due to the higher rankings on both offense and defense, as well as Cam Newton winning MVP. The 2015 Panthers went 15-1, but once they fell behind in the Super Bowl, they just could not recover. They lost by 2 scores against the Broncos, only putting up 10 total points, the lowest of the entire season. Had they won, I think people would talk about Newton in a different light, which is too bad, because the only thing that this 15-1, #1 ranked offense is remembered for is him stepping away from a fumbled ball. 2 Super Bowls and 2 dominant wins for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 2002's edition had one of the greatest defenses in NFL history, while the 2020 squad had the vampire that is known as Tom Brady. While it is close, I ultimately will give the nod to the 2002 Bucs. They weren't known for their offense, but still managed to score 48 points. well, I guess it helps when your defense scores 3 times. They managed to make the top 5 ranked offense of the Raiders look like they were being led by Jamarcus Russell. I wouldn't be mad though if someone said 2020, as that team was still pretty damn good too. Now moving to the NFC West, we will begin with the 49ers, and I think their best season came from their second ever Super Bowl win in 1984. The Niners were 15-1 heading into the playoffs with the second ranked offense and the first ranked defense, led by Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott, and Bill Walsh. They would trounce the competition, outscoring their playoff opponents 82-26, including a 38-16 win over Dan Marino's Dolphins in Super Bowl 19. It's crazy to think that San Fran's best year still came right before drafting Jerry Rice the very next year. 2013 gets the nod for Seattle, as this was their first and only Super Bowl win in their history. A young Russell Wilson would carry his own in the pass, while Marshawn would tear it up in the backfield. But the real power of this team was their defense. More specifically, the Legion of Boom. The defense mainly carried this team to a 13-3 record, and after getting by the Saints and the Niners, they made the number 1 ranked, record-breaking offense in the Denver Broncos look like absolute chumps in a 43-8 beatdown. And what makes that crazy is that now 12 years later, heading into the 2025 season, there are only 2 players that remain today in the NFL period from that Seattle squad. Like, I swear, 2013 didn't feel that long ago. Now, to all of my viewers who have been watching me enough to know who my favorite team is, I promise I am not being biased when I say the 1999 Rams were better than the 2021 Rams. Both won the Super Bowl, but I give the nod to 99 for conducting one of the greatest offenses of all time. The greatest show on turf included Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Marshall Faulk, and were anchored by one of the best left tackles ever in Orlando Pace. Nobody could stop this offense, but in the end, it was their defense coming up big in the final second of the Super Bowl, stopping the Titans 1 yard shy of victory. This is an offense that gets talked about to this day, so 1999 was the only way to go. Speaking of Kurt Warner, Arizona, who's been relatively a bad team for decades, honestly you might even call it a century now, did have some hope in the 2008 season. Warner was in the midst of a late career resurgence, guiding the 9-7 Cards past some truly heavy hitters in the playoffs, like the young upstart Falcons, the favored Panthers on the backs of 5 interceptions from the defense, and the Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb led Eagles. But they'd come up just short in Super Bowl 43. In the final quarter, Arizona was actually up after mounting a huge comeback thanks to 2 touchdowns from Larry Legend himself. But after Big Ben hit Santonio Holmes in the corner, it was over. No other season in the desert has come close. Now, Minnesota has been to 4 Super Bowls and have lost all 4. Yet, I want to say, I could be wrong, my editor is a Vikings fan, so he could tell me otherwise. I think most Viking fans would turn to 1998 being their best season, mainly because this team should have won it all. The 98 Vikes were led by head coach Dennis Green, quarterback Randall Cunningham, and the wide receiver duo of the All-Pro Chris Carter and breakout rookie megastar Randy Moss. This team would torch everyone in the regular season, going 15-1, and would destroy the Cardinals in the divisional, yet were stopped in their tracks by the Atlanta Falcons. Midway through the 4th, Minnesota had a chance to put the game away. With a field goal, they'd go up 30-20, making it near impossible for Atlanta to make a comeback. But the usually reliable Gary Anderson, a kicker who hadn't missed a kick all season, would fail to hit a 38-yarder, giving the Falcons a chance to tie it and force overtime. And in OT, Atlanta's Morton Anderson wouldn't miss his opportunity, ending the greatest regular season the Vikings have ever had. The Bears in their long history have only one Super Bowl, but damn it did they make it memorable. The 85 Bears defense, nicknamed the Monsters of the Midway, would rank number 1 nearly across the board. And it's due to this defense that you even forget they ranked 2nd in offense. Their first 2 playoff games were shutouts. Then their match against the Patriots was a 46-10 blowout, meaning they outscored their opponents 91-10 on their way to probably the most dominant playoff run in NFL history. With that defense, it's actually crazy that they were one and done the following year. Most of the Lions' success in history was in the 1950s, so to find something in the Super Bowl era, you'd have to go in pretty recent history. The 2024 Detroit Lions would win a franchise record 15 games en route to a 15-2 record, and that's despite having nearly 20 guys landing in IR. Had it not been for the endless amount of injuries, who knows how far they could have gone. I chose 2024 over 1991 due to how built for success the Lions are for 2025 and beyond. Green Bay has 4 rings, but only 2 are after 1970. Ultimately, I had to go with 1996 due to the better record, as well as better rankings in both offense and defense. With Favre running the show on offense and Reggie White anchoring the defense, this team ran through the competition en route to defeating New England by 2 scores. Thank you guys so much for getting to this point in the video. We have covered every NFC team. I want to say that the AFC teams are going to be next week, if not the following week after. You guys viewing, especially here, if you're hearing this part of the video, it does mean a lot. It goes a long way for the algorithm. So if you guys could like, subscribe, if you want, turn notifications on. We upload weekly. If you're new here, what season do you think was better than one I mentioned here? That's going to do it. Thank you guys again. Love you guys. Shaboy.